Hi again, it's Mr. Campbell. I wanted to give you guys a brief tutorial on how to use the tools in myON while you are reading. These are specifically the annotation tools, but also the other tools in the menu. I'm going to share my screen so you can see what I'm seeing, a window. Okay. And now we are presenting. Okay. So I'm logging in with my dummy account here that I've set up. Again, this is my son's account, so yours will look slightly different, but not that much. You can see in here how much time I've spent reading this week, how many books I've finished, how many pages I've read. Please note that all of this information is sent to your teachers, and they have access to it all the time. It's up to the minute, actually, so please make sure that you are reading in there because they will be able to see that. Today we're looking at those annotation tools. So I'm going to go check my projects first and make sure I don't have a project. That's when teachers assign me work. All right. Okay, no projects in here for me, so I'm going to go to my library and I'm going to read. And in the other video, I showed you how to find books. So I'm going to start today by going to my list, and I'm going to read this book on super scary monsters. Okay, start over. Okay, there's a number of tools in here. The first being that you can actually have the books read to you, so you can either skip through the books and navigate by clicking on this arrow or seeing the pages down here, but you can also go through and have the books read to you. So if I click this button,
Super Scary Monsters by Megan Cooley-Peterson.
It'll actually read to me, right? You can adjust the volume here. With this, you'll see the little volume thing is going away. If you don't want it to read to you, but you do want to use the other annotation tools, some of the settings, just turn the volume down like that and turn it off. Okay, so what do I mean by that? I'm actually going to start on the bottom. So if I go to settings, there's a number of options down here. How fast it reads to me, so I can turn the speed up very quickly. So if I start this page over,
Super Scary Monsters by Megan Cooley-Peterson.
I wouldn't suggest turning that all the way up, but you can. I'm turning the volume back down. There are other features in here. I'm going to go to the next page. Okay. So you can show annotations, highlight sentences, highlight words, or you can switch the side of the screen that this is on. So if I click this, the buttons pop over here. All right. Or I can click buttons on the right. I like keeping them on the right. I don't know why. But I do. So there are some features in here that will help you with reading the words as you go through, if that's something that you would like assistance with. If you don't need that help and you don't want those on, they're distracting, you can turn them off. So I'm going to turn off everything. Right now they're all off. I'm going to put just highlight sentences first. And so if I play this now, as it reads, it should be highlighting, I'm sorry, that's the words. Now it's highlighting the sentences. Turn the volume up.
To see a figure darting between the trees. What was it? For thousands of years, people have told monster stories. Some legendary creatures feed on blood. Others are half human and half animal.
So you can use these to toggle between having the words highlighted as it reads, like word by word, or the whole sentence highlighted. So if that's something you're working on decoding and you're working on reading and expanding those reading skills, that might be helpful for you, especially hearing it and seeing it at the same time. The show annotation button, and that's just showing the annotations that are on the page. You can also annotate the page. I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Okay. The other tools in here. The other pages shows you other things that are included in this book. Okay, the copyright information, table of contents, glossary, more. Different books will have different things in here. They won't all have table of contents. They won't all have glossaries. This one, if I go to the glossary, these are all of the vocabulary words that are embedded in this book. All right, so that's a good tool to have. I'm going to go back to that second page. Okay. The dictionary. This is a place where you can look up words. So I'm going to look up legendary. I can't type today. All right. So legendary came up. That's right here. Okay, I can click this.
Legendary.
And get a pronunciation. All right, the other thing you can do is you can click on any word in the text and you can view in the dictionary, which will pull up this. You can
Legendary creatures feed on blood.
Decide where you want the reading to start. So if you miss something and you want it to go back and reread that, you don't have to reread the whole page. You can click on that to view the word.
For thousands of years, people have told monster stories.
And for it to start reading there.
For thousands of
For it to just read that word.
For thousands of years, people have told monster stories.
Or for it to just read that sentence. All right, and you do that just by clicking on the words in there. The other tools in here. So you have a number of annotation tools. Again, these are all broken down in the Blended Learning Remote Learning Handbook, but you can click on the brush to draw. All right, change the color here. All right, this will make it bigger or smaller. I'll make it smaller. Okay, so if I draw and say I want to point to something, I want to point out this word. Okay, or I want to circle something. Title. Okay. I can write in my big sloppy handwriting trackpad. All right. The other things I can do, I can highlight in here. This is going to highlight in whatever color you have selected on here. I'm going to highlight in green. You're hiking in the woods. All right. So this is not a chance to color and draw and play. This is a chance to use the tools with purpose. So we'll talk more about that at another time. You can also add a sticky note anywhere you like. Sticky note there. Again, same color as I have the annotations highlighted. This is a note about the image. It evokes a haunted feeling. Ooh. Okay. I'll put that sticky note over here. Okay. And I want to put a eyeball on it, because it's what it looks like to me. The other tools here, you can put boxes around things. So I want to put a box around this. Okay. You can put circles around things. So if I hadn't circled that with my sloppy handwriting, I could have circled the title here. Okay. Teachers may ask you to do specific things in here regarding like underline this, circle this. So you can use these tools to do that. For thousands of years. So if I ask a question like, what indicates the passage of time or setting, then that might be something I would underline. Again, I use my sloppy handwriting for the arrow, but you can also do the arrows like this, and like that. It's wrong. Oh, how do I delete it? I click on this trash button, and I can remove everything. No, I want to erase just that object, so I'm going to erase that object. All right, so that's how to use the annotation tools, something to play with. Lastly, there's the journal. Okay, the journal is a place where you can take notes. This journal carries through all of your books you read. So I took these notes in a different book, but I'm going to add a new journal entry. I'm going to call this Super Scary Monsters. And I'm going to put my thoughts. I want to read more about Loch Ness. Loch Ness is an H. It's Scottish. Capitalize because there's only one of them. There we go. All right. You can use this awesome quotation copier. So if I click that button, that's going to pop away, and I'm going to quote this line. I'm going to go highlight some legendary creatures feed on blood. And I'm going to click copy, and then I don't have to type it. It quoted it for me. And not only did it quote it, it cited where it came from. Isn't that great? The other thing you can do is you can just directly cite. So if you're in a different book, okay, you can push this button, and it will cite that page for you. All right? This is how you delete notes, and that's how you add new entries. So if I do a new one that says, okay, and I want to delete that, you just delete it and you remove it. Now, your teachers have access to your annotations. They have access to your journal, so they can see everything in there if they want to dig in there. All right, so be mindful of that, and if they give you an assignment, they can check it in your individual books. All right, so that's the annotation tools on the side here. That's the tools here, and the journal tools. Is there anything else in here that I wanted to show you? You can zoom in. So if things are hard to read, things are small, that caption at the bottom was smallish, okay? You can zoom in on that. Okay, you can make your myON full screen this way. And then you can also do this to see the pages. Now, every time you complete a book, you're going to get to the end, and then you can you're going to have some questions to answer sometimes. It will give you a diagnostic assessment or a benchmark assessment after you read so many books, okay? However, it's not going to let you finish the book, and you have to click Finish Book when you get to the end. It's not going to let you finish it unless you actually read it. So you can't fake that you read it, okay? You do have to look at every page in that book, or the majority of the pages anyway, and you do have to spend some time in it. So I can't just go through and click every page. You see, the only one that I've read is page 2. So you do have to make sure that you read the book in order to finish it. Otherwise, when you exit, it will say, okay, that's the last book I read. That's the time I spent reading, but I did not finish that book. All right, so if I want to finish the book, then I have to go back into it and read the whole thing and click Finish. All right, so that's how to use the diagnostic tools in myON. I hope that was helpful. And yeah, that's it. Have a good day.